Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today, yet again, I am reacting to the marvelous Floor Jansen, this time covering the song Shallow from A Star Is Born on the TV show Best Singers. Now, I am particularly keen to see how Floor approaches this particular song because typically when I hear covers of Shallow, People are kicking it in the guts. And as we've seen in the other reactions that I've done to Floor, as a vocalist, she's fairly versatile and really good at storytelling. So I'm super keen to see what she does with this song. Let's get into it.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. In all the bad times I fear myself.
Okay. So straight off the bat, Floor coming in strong with the storytelling there. She started off in a really, really light mechanism, which means even though it's in her first register, she's not putting too much weight or mass into the sound, and that's how we get that almost tentative, soft, sweet kind of feeling that you get from the song because she's chosen to do it this particular way. And albeit, even in the Lady Gaga version, she is a little bit more pulled back compared to the chorus, but in this one, I get all this versatility of the weights from starting off really light and soft, and when she wants it to be really soft, instead of forfeiting extra weight, she lets a little bit of breathiness come into the tone. It balances out really well by choosing to do that. And then, of course, in mid-phrases, if she's wanting a particular word to be emphasized, she puts a little bit of a dynamic swell on there without it being too much. So we're going to keep going. I'm keen to see what she does with the rest.
Tell me something, girl. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling.
I hate to interrupt this, but even on the I'm falling, she brought in a little bit more warmth into her tone, which it makes you feel like there's more presence to it and draws you even further into the lyric that she's singing. On the lyrics, though, I think she said girl instead of boy, which I'm fairly certain is the lyric that's meant to be there. So the first bit being, tell me something, girl, are you happy in this modern world? And the second one being, tell me something, boy, aren't you tired trying to fill that void? And here she said girls. It could have been like just a little error, and she's just professionally managed it by seamlessly moving into the next bit of the phrase and not letting it bother her. Like you would never know unless you knew the lyrics off by heart. Or she's decided to change that to girl again, just so that there's a cohesiveness between the start of the verse and the second verse, knowing that she's doing this solo. She's not in a duet right now. There's not another person coming in to sing that particular part of the verse with her. So,
I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. In all the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shadow now. the shallow now.
Okay, so I love what she did there. Remember in the beginning when I said most people when they cover this, they absolutely just kick it in the guts? Floor had that belt quality there, but she balanced it out so that she was able to play with the dynamics through that chorus instead of it just being one big loud sound for the entire time. That's beautiful. And how she decided to finish it with it being really soft meant that with the strings behind her, it felt so emotional. Absolutely stunning. And you can hear her throughout her phrasing. She will bring sounds forward and they'll be a little brighter, and then on some she'll pull them back and they'll become a little warmer, a little bit wider. I wonder how long Floor would spend deciding what to do with this kind of song where people are expecting it to be a certain way, which is to, you know, belt that chorus and just go for it. I wonder how long she spends playing around and then eventually deciding on which way she wants to be able to convey her intention for a particular song. Perhaps it's fast for her, perhaps it's easy for her, but I would be curious to know just how long something like that takes, because you're subverting expectations when you do a song like how she's doing it. It's not so different from the original that we lose interest and we lose our connection with the song. It's actually adding something to it. I'm getting more emotion from this. So we're going to keep going. This is stunning. And with the strings, goodness. Okay, talk about subverting expectations, particularly in the bridge. We all know what the Lady Gaga version does when she hits that bridge. It is belt, it is intense, it is TA, it is chesty, it's loud, it's huge. And in here we get the opposite of that. We get soft, we get delicate, we get flexible, we get all these different textures that she's putting into her sound, tiny little flips through the phrases into bits of aspiration and then bringing it all the way back down into speech quality and then more aspiration at the end. I think this is the most breathiness I've ever heard Floor use out of the songs that I've reacted to where she's been the main singer. And I do think that she walked that balance between using the breathiness as a vocal quality to inspire a particular emotion. She walked the line between it being tasteful and it being too much very well in this particular song, because she was sort of switching up her placement and using lots of really delicate things in different with different acoustic properties, if you will. So different timbral changes. It got bright, it got wider, it got darker, it got warmer, and all the way back and flipping in between all these different things. Because she was doing that, it meant that the breathiness on certain words still had an impact. Sometimes if you overuse breathiness, it makes it sound like there's no core to your sound. It makes it sound like there's not enough presence. And yet I don't get that feeling at all from watching Floor sing this, because there are those moments where she brings in a little bit more of a powerful sound. In that last chorus, I was expecting it to be bigger than what it was, but there were still moments where, you know, she brought the fullness that we know Floor is capable of into the song without it being so much that there's no way back. It's kind of like if you take it to its absolute limit, it can be tricky sometimes to pull it all the way back without it needing to be arranged a little bit more with the music behind you. Unless, of course, it was like this big loud sound and then everything just like stops behind her and then she comes in softly. Like that would be probably a way around that, like a simple arranging way of getting around it, taking it to such a high volume dynamic. But gosh, yes. Overall, I get such a very strong thread of emotion through this. I actually get a different feeling from her delivery of this song than I do from the Lady Gaga. The Lady Gaga version, to me, comes across as something that is desperate. Something that is absolutely like clinging to this feeling and this emotion. And it's like you're holding on to this feeling desperately, this person, this moment in time when you're safe desperately, because there's so much power in it. There's almost like threads of pain that come through the Lady Gaga version. And in Floor's delivery, I get the other emotions that you might get from those lyrics, which is this idea of being emotionally invested or connected to the person that you're being safe with. I get a lot more of the sweeter, loving feelings from Floor's delivery, and it's almost like there's this element of gratitude of having that space that I get from how she chooses to deliver this song that I don't get as much of from the Lady Gaga version, just because the deliveries are completely different and there's nothing wrong with either delivery. I just think it's beautiful that we're able to still get more from this song because, as we know, it's super popular. It is absolutely everywhere. It is being covered to death. And I think this is the first time where I've heard a cover that has approached it in a new way, so we get like a new feeling from it. Gosh, she's just amazing. That ending, again, gives me a different interpretation of it. It's like, I want to stay in this space with you for as long as I possibly can. And even though it might not last forever, at least we have like this moment right now. And that is so pure. And of course, her vocal timbre completely supports those feelings and emotions that I'm getting from this particular song. There's something so incredibly sweet, almost like angelic, with Floor's voice, which I think is interesting because we know she can also make some pretty intense sounds, if you will. Anyways, that is it for me today, guys. What an absolutely stunning cover. As expected of Floor, just hits it out of the park on the storytelling. And again, just demonstrating that you don't need to be loud to get an emotional response from something. Will there be moments in songs where once you take it there, it just like yanks your soul out and completely uplifts you? Yeah, sure. But the musicality of being able to deliver a ballad like this, using those different textural changes, using those different colors, using the dynamics in a way where the story is floating along, I get this feeling that she's on water from how she delivers those phrases. Anyways, I'm going to stop. Obviously, I could carry on all day about the things that Floor does with her voice, so I'm just going to leave it here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it for more just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in.